Hello, fighters, survivors, and thrivers. Welcome to the Cancer Show. Today is Superhero Saturday, and I have a beautiful story to share with you. Sachi's story, facing another unpredictable wave, living with cancer since 2016. Sachi looks at her young daughter, and the young girl stares delightedly back at her mama. There's a sparkle in both of their eyes as they connect. For Sachi, this is a role reversal. She was once the daughter looking into her own mother's eyes, and it was her mother who had cancer. Now it's Sachi's turn. I feel so fortunate to be born at a time when I could detect this and do something about it. Sachi's mother was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 30 and had a radical mastectomy. At age 45, her mother was then diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer and passed away 4 years later at 49. Her mother's cancer experience made Sachi a candidate for a free high-risk hereditary genetic testing program. She tested positive for the BRCA1 gene. This is a gene mutation that increases the risk of several types of cancer, but Sachi was determined to rewrite her own family history and not repeat her mother's experience. Wow, that's wonderful. The first quote that I shared with you, I feel so fortunate to be born at a time when I could detect this and do something about it. Because it wasn't so long ago that we could not detect it, that we didn't know anything about genes or, cancer being hereditary. We didn't know any of these things, and now we do. There's so much more information, so there is progress. There's always progress. So sometimes we feel like we're not making progress, but we are. There are so many things that we now know, that we can detect, that we can treat, that we can cure, that we couldn't before. So this is really beautiful because her mother, gosh, 49, that's so young. I mean, it's just heartbreaking. And now here Sachi is with her daughter, and she just took massive action to make sure that she was going to be here for her daughter. Of course, her mother didn't know. I mean, who knew? Who knew back then? I'm sure if this had happened right now, she would still be alive. Okay, Sachi made the decision to get a double mastectomy and total hysterectomy in 2016. I was offered a hysterectomy and I said no because I had this idea that I was actually going to have babies. So I had colon cancer and I had radiation in that area, so that was not possible. But my lovely doctor, radiation oncologist, Dr. Amin Muradi was just so gracious, and he just let me live that dream. But now looking back, having those parts out, I don't need them anymore. It gives less targets for cancer. That's how I feel. Some people want to keep all their body parts, and I respect that, whatever works for the person. But looking back, I should have just had it, taken out when I was already under the knife. But never mind, that's okay, moving forward. Okay, so Sachi says, during the hysterectomy, her doctors discovered a tumor in her fallopian tube. She then underwent 6 rounds of chemo to eliminate any remaining cancer found in her body. It was a hard time, both physically and emotionally, of course, as it brought up painful memories of her mother's diagnosis. But Sachi also resolved to use those experiences to make decisions around her care and treatment. From the very beginning, Sachi decided to be vocal about her cancer in a way her mother wasn't. Yeah, that's powerful, because there was a time when there was shame surrounding cancer. People didn't talk about it. They didn't want to talk about it. That's how Susan G. Komen started, because it was all hush hush, and there was no support, and it was some kind of like horrible thing to shame, like you had shame because you had cancer. And there are still some religions like that. They don't talk about their illness, uh, and then one day you find out that somebody's gone, but they never say why. There's no funerals, or if there's a funeral, I don't know about it. It's a little bit strange, but they do not acknowledge illness. And how do you think that makes the patient feel, to not be acknowledged, to be going through this? That's why Susan G. Komen is so powerful, so our voices can be heard and we can make a change, and we have. Oh, hi, Linda. Thank you for joining. I lost friends because of cancer. Yes, I don't know of one person who doesn't know somebody, or who is going through it, or who has lost the battle, or has had it themselves. I don't know. I mean, for young people, but even for them, I mean, it's just rampant. So Sachi said she was not going to be quiet, and she was going to share it and share her story. And when you share things, you help other people, you inspire, you give them hope, you give them education, information, insight. That's all of us out here, spreading the message, spreading our stories, providing information, hope, and encouraging others by saying, hey, this is what happened to me, and you can get through this too. It's not a disease where you go through it alone. It's a personal disease, it's a family disease, it's a community disease, it's a world disease, okay? Cancer is not a one-person disease. Friends all around me, and couple of months, friends didn't come anymore. Oh, friends were all around you, and then your friends didn't come to visit you, Linda? No, that's sad. That's really sad and unfortunate for them, because to be part of a cancer journey, regardless of the ending, is an honor and a privilege. And you learn about yourself as well. Caring for somebody, supporting somebody, you learn a lot. Families learn a lot. Everybody in the process of cancer learns something. So that's unfortunate for them, but it's fortunate for you, because you learn who your real friends were, and those are your forever friends, and that's what matters. That's who you want around you. You don't want those fair weather friends. And people have different reasons. I mean, it could be too scary for them, or they're afraid, or they're angry, or they lost somebody and they don't want to go through that again, or worry about that again. So we don't really know why, but just the best thing to do when there's a situation like that is to let that person go, so you can focus on yourself. You don't need to focus on that. That's their stuff. You need to focus on your stuff. Okay. So Sachi says, that was the big thing that was missing when my mom had cancer. We never talked about it at all. We didn't talk about any feelings associated with it or anything. So it was really important for me to be very open about it. You're welcome, love. Okay, so when it comes to children, it's really up to you what you decide to tell your children. So my children were very young. My daughter just turned 6 and my son was 4, so they were very young. And cancer is a big, word, especially when people don't really know about it. And my daughter had just, started her big school. She was in a school where it was kindergarten, or actually nursery, all the way to 8th grade. So I didn't want them to hear the word cancer, because maybe somebody's mother or father or teacher or whatever had cancer and didn't make it. I didn't want them to think that that was an option. And it's too much for them. To me, that word was too much for them. But I have friends that did tell their children when they were young, and I support them on that. It's up to them. It's really about your relationship with your child. I told my children that mommy didn't feel good, mommy had a bump, and the doctor was going to take it out. And that's it. And I pretended like I wasn't sick, which was a really good thing for me because it made me get out of my sickness, get out of my bed, get out of my chemo cave, get out of my head. Okay, that just rhymed. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it did. So that was my backwards blessing. They know now, of course, they're teens now, but now they put things together like, oh, that's why this. Like one day I was 100% there, and the next day I wasn't, because I was just too sick. I just could not take care of them. And I just, I did my best. And, when I was in the hospital, they did not like that. But, I would always put a positive spin on it. Mommy's getting better. Mommy's going to be fine. So that was my approach. But again, if a parent wants to share the truth with their child, I just suggest that they go, thoroughly into it and explain that cancer is not, does not mean that mommy or daddy or sister, brother, or whoever, grandma, grandpa may not make it. Because when people hear cancer, whether we like it or not, and including ourselves, we think death. Okay. But that's not the case, especially now. Okay, so Sachi continues. Another force in her life also prepared Sachi for her journey with cancer. You see, Sachi is a big wave water photographer. Wow. And she believes that years of facing massive waves prepared her for this journey. Amazing. The ocean has always been a major part of Sachi's life. During treatments, water was key to her healing, allowing her to connect with herself in a place she's always felt comfortable. The courage she learned in the waves helped her stay calm and focused throughout the journey, even during chemo treatments. Now, I love this because I often say, do what you love. To whatever degree, continue to do what you love, because that's where your connection is. That's where your soul is. That's where your passion is. So, I'm a former dancer, and so I would dance. I would dance in my pajamas. I would dance with my chemo pole. I mean, not a lot of dancing, like moving, but I would put on a song that would inspire me, and I would dance, and the children come in the kitchen, and we would dance together. Or, in the hospital, just even lifting my arms up, or during chemo, that made me feel good, and it made me feel like I was at home, because dance for me was similar to Sachi and her waves. When she says, allowing her to connect with herself in a place she's always felt comfortable. The courage she learned in the waves helped her stay calm. Yes, she had to face, she believes that years of facing massive waves prepared her. So absolutely, as a dancer, dedication, discipline, desire, all of those things you need when you're fighting cancer. And I took those D's. And I applied them. I had the desire to live. I was disciplined. And I was dedicated. So that helped me. So whatever it is that you love, it could be art, it could be golf, it could be whatever it is, do it through your treatment to whatever level that you can. It might be for her just putting her toes in the water. And if it's something like, horseback riding, just going to the stable, just being with your horse, it helps. It helps a lot. It will help you along your journey. It will help you to remember how powerful you are, and it will help you to recognize the lessons that you learned that you can apply to your journey. She says, swimming in big waves is about not knowing what's going to come next, only knowing that what comes might kill you. But you keep yourself, your mind and body calm in that situation, and you turn it into something beautiful and magical. Oh my gosh. But you keep yourself, your mind and your body calm in that situation, and you turn it into something beautiful and magical. Fighting cancer and beating cancer is something beautiful and magical. So if you're going through it right now, acknowledge that. It's the beauty within. It's your power. It's your strength. It's your weakness. It's your fear. It's your triumph. It's all of those things. Turn it into something beautiful and magical. Her experiences with unpredictable waves and cancer treatments taught her that she can do anything. Yes, that includes navigating her own healthcare. In the water, Sachi learned it's possible to head straight into the unknown and come out on the other side. And she had determined to do the same with cancer. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Sachi is incredibly open about her experiences with cancer and the fact that she wants to live with cancer differently than some. She's determined to be vocal and to keep doing the things that brought her incredible comfort before her diagnosis. And she finishes with, I want to normalize it. You know, everyone's been touched by cancer in some way. Unfortunately, that is true. So I'm going to post the link to this. This is livingwithcancer.com. It's a wonderful, wonderful website. And I'll also post, her story. So, I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But if you do want to share your story and you do want to talk about it, that's awesome too. I think it's a healing process when you talk about it. You know, it's like when you go to therapy, when you talk to, a therapist or a psychiatrist or, whoever it is, talking about it is working through it. And when we finish cancer, we have PTSD, 100%. It is trauma and it's stress, and you've just been through a huge battle, and now, and it reminds me of these soldiers that I'm so thankful for, men and women. They go to war and then they come back, and it's a different world for them because of what they've seen, because of what they've been through, and they're just supposed to pick up their life and everything's normal. Well, it's not like that, and it's the same with us. Cancer fighters, survivors, it's the same. So spread your story, and maybe just to a couple people if you don't want to, share it out loud. Sachi wanted her daughter to know exactly what was going on, because she didn't know anything about what was going on with her mother. I mean, she passed when Sachi was very, very young. That must have been extremely difficult. Oh, it's tragic. So having experienced that, she wanted to do it differently with her daughter. And looks like they're both doing great. Yeah. All right, fighters, survivors, and thrivers, thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow for Spiritual Saturday, because we all need a dose of spirituality. If you have any questions, or you are a superhero, or you know of a superhero that you would like to come on the show, I would be more than happy to bring them on camera and have a discussion, interview them, and maybe that's you. Maybe you have been a superhero in somebody's life as they've gone through it. Or, to me, anybody who's gone through cancer and survived it is a superhero as well. So if you have a superhero story, please message me. And if you have any questions, and or if you need support, if you need a mentor, I can help you with that. I'm here to serve. I'm so grateful. I am 8 years out. I'm stage 3 colon cancer, fighter, survivor, and thriver. And I've been advocating and educating and supporting and cheering and loving all of you since I was diagnosed. Since the moment I was diagnosed, I lost my sister to cancer, and I've had cancer. Obviously, I just mentioned that, and I feel like this is my calling, and it's just such an honor and such a blessing to be here and to help and to serve. So, thank you again for joining me. Daily mantra: I am healthy, I am happy, I am whole. One more time, say it with me, please. I am healthy, I am happy, I am whole. One more time, say it like you mean it. I am healthy, I am happy, I am whole. The thriving starts now.